for tuning in and joining Zoom. It took a little extra effort to join this story time than some of the other ones I've done. I've been really hung up on Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, since all this started. I've been a big Winnie the Pooh fan since I was a kid, and there's something about his calming spirit and his way that I think we all need right now. So I want to share this with you. I got this for Christmas, and it's something that's imprinted on my heart. If ever there is a tomorrow when we're not together, there is something you must always remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we're apart, I'll always be with you. And I want you to remember that about me. Anytime you see a Winnie the Pooh, if I'm not around, think about Miss Stephanie and her story time. What a wonderful time you had, and maybe in that moment it'll take you away to a better place. I read this the other night and I thought it was a great book. I got a lot of good feedback on it. It's called The Friendship Garden. There we go, The Friendship Garden by Winnie the Pooh. And I hope you like it as much as I did. Let's get started. It was early morning, much like this morning, because for me this is early. It was early morning. Bright rays of sunshine were streaming through Winnie the Pooh's window. Ho hum, yawned Pooh, blinking and stretching in his snuggly nightshirt. What a sunshiny day. I think I'll celebrate by having a little smackerel of honey for breakfast. Speaking of nightshirts, you see I have my nighttime Pooh up here joining me. He's got on his purple nightshirt, and I've got on my big purple muumuu. So comfortable this morning. Goodness, Pooh explained, opening his eyes wide. What has happened to all my honey? His cupboard shelves were empty from top to bottom. Pooh noticed the dabs of honey on his nightshirt. Then he remembered getting up to quiet a rumbly tummy in the middle of the night. Suddenly, a loud buzzing noise caught his attention. Buzz, buzz, buzz went the noise. Pooh looked up and saw a tiny bee flying above his head. Said Pooh, watching the bee carefully. Where there are bees, there's honey. I think I'll follow that bee right back to his hive. But just as Pooh spoke, the bee darted away. Wait for me, Pooh shouted, forgetting that he was still in his nightshirt. Pooh ran as fast as his little round legs could carry him. He ran all the way to Rabbit's garden, where the bee disappeared into the dark center of a very tall yellow flower. Pooh leaned way back to see where the bee had gone and fell, kerplop, right into Rabbit's cabbage. Who's there? Called Rabbit, rushing over. It's me, Pooh said. Brushing dirt off his nightshirt, I was just following a bee to find some honey, but he hid up there in that funny yellow tree. Rabbit looked up. That's not a tree, Pooh, he said. It's a sunflower. A sunflower, Pooh said. What a wonderful thing. That must be why it's so bright and warm here in your garden. No, Pooh, Rabbit said. Sunflowers are called that because they turn their heads toward the sun. See how they are all facing the same way? Pooh nodded. What smart flowers, he murmured. I'm going to hold this up. Can you see the sunflowers? Look how pretty they are. I love sunflowers. I love sunflower seeds too. Rabbit was very proud of his sunflowers. Now, Pooh, he continued, if you like, I will give you some sunflower seeds. Then you can grow some sunflowers of your very own. Pooh thought this was a splendid idea. He took the packet of black and white seeds. Oh, thank you, Rabbit, Pooh called as he left the garden. I'm sorry I fell on your cabbages. Pooh was very excited about having his own garden. I must tell Piglet, he thought, and clutching the seeds in one paw, he knocked on Piglet's door. Good morning, Pooh, Piglet said. Won't you join me for breakfast? Pooh gratefully accepted Piglet's offer. Between gulps of honey, he explained about the sunflower garden he was going to plant. They are flowers of very great brains, Pooh said solemnly, as he's digging away into that honey pot. A garden is a lot of work, Piglet told Pooh. I'll get my shovel and help you. I'll keep the seeds in here with the honey, Pooh said to himself, dropping them into the sticky jar that Piglet had given him. That way, I won't lose them. Piglet tried to explain to Pooh about weeds and watering. Now, Pooh, Piglet began, it's very important to... Pooh, Pooh. Piglet looked around. There was his friend stretched out in the sun and snoring away. And see Winnie the Pooh in his purple nightshirt? And see my little nighttime Pooh. He's got on his purple nightshirt too. I just started digging, Piglet decided. Pooh can plant the seeds himself when he wakes up. Shovel up, shovel down, shovel up, shovel down. Piglet moved stones and dug up the ground in the hot sunshine. I think it's time to plant the seeds, Pooh, he finally called to his friend. But Pooh just smiled and rolled over. Thank you, Piglet, he said without opening his eyes. I'll plant them as soon as I wake up. Piglet shrugged. Never mind, Pooh, he said. I'll be back to help you again tomorrow. The next day, when Piglet arrived at Pooh's garden, Pooh was already outside, licking honey from his paws. Are you ready to plant the seeds, Pooh? Piglet asked. Pooh mumbled something from inside the honey jar, then sat back and looked back at Piglet gratefully. You're very kind to help me, Piglet, Pooh said. Growing a garden is very hard work, you know. And with that, Pooh licked his lips and he began to sing. Dig and water, weed and wait. Hurry up, flowers, don't be late. Turn to the east, turn to the west. Facing the sun is what you like best, as he sang to his sunflower seeds. Pooh liked his song so much that he decided to sing it again. Piglet knelt down and poked a stick into the dirt, making holes for the sunflower seeds. Just then Roo came hopping by. Hello, Roo, said Pooh. I'm going to plant my sunflower seeds today. Don't forget to pat the dirt down when you're done, Roo reminded him. Days passed. Piglet and Roo showed up faithfully every morning to help Pooh in his gardening. Watering, weeding, patting, pulling, working in the garden was hard work. Pooh did his part by adding new words to his song every single day. Nothing's happening, said Roo, peering closely at the ground. Gardens take time, Piglet said, crouching to get a closer look. Would anyone like some honey, sang Pooh? The next day, Rabbit happened by. We've dug and watered and weeded, Piglet sighed, but still we have no sunflowers. Rabbit scratched his head. That's very odd. How deep do you plant the seeds? How deep did you plant the seeds? Piglet and Roo turned to Pooh. Seeds? Pooh said slowly. He peered into the honey pot. Uh-oh, he said in a sad voice. Then he pulled out one tiny sunflower seed dripping with honey. Gardening makes me hungry, Pooh tried to explain. I thought the sunflower seeds would help keep my strength up. You see, he had eaten all the sunflower seeds while he had mixed with the honey. So for a moment, no one knew what to say. Then Rabbit cleared his throat. Well, now that's all right, he said to Pooh. I think I can help. Come with me. And so the three friends followed Rabbit to his garden, where lots of sunflowers were standing straight and tall. See the picture of his garden? There it is. Sunflowers standing straight and tall. They are so beautiful if you've not seen them in person. Rabbit handed out shovels and pointed to the ground. Each of you dig a deep circle around a sunflower, he instructed them, and make sure you don't hit any roots. Piglet and Roo started right in. Pooh leaned on his shovel to watch. "Oh no, you too, Pooh," called Rabbit. "Dig in." Pooh, Piglet, Roo, and Rabbit each dug up a sunflower. They carefully carried the flowers back to Pooh's garden and planted them there. "Well, Pooh, how do you like your garden now?" asked Rabbit. "It's our garden," said Pooh, "because without all of you, it wouldn't be a garden at all." "Pooh," said Piglet, as the four settled down for a rest, "shouldn't we give our garden a name?" "Oh, yes," Pooh nodded. "What a great idea." Everyone thought and thought. Finally, Pooh said, "What about naming it a friendship garden?" And from that day on, that's exactly what their garden was called, a friendship garden. Because just like Pooh said, it's our garden. It took all of them together to make that garden. And it's going to take all of us working together to get through what we're dealing with and what we're going through right now. So I hope you enjoyed that one.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Tiffany.
You said you have another story as well, right?
I do have another one.
Excellent. Arielle is loading up her laptop, so I think we'll have you do another story while she's signing in.
I don't mind at all. I don't mind
Excellent.
at all.
We appreciate it. And I'm gonna have that bio from you from the banned book show, so I'm gonna drop that on the side too, in case anybody wanted to learn a little bit more about your your career and your performing career. So,
Well, if they don't know who I am by now.
well, some folks are from out of state, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
welcome. Welcome. I hope my out-of-staters are faring well through all of this. I'm very excited to have all of you. I started Drag Queen Story Hour here in Newport Richey a little over a year ago. And we were met with untold amounts of protests and just pure hate. But it didn't stop them. We moved through 3 different venues, and the only thing that stopped it was this virus. And it really didn't stop it because we're doing it now online. And to be honest, doing it online is a lot more comfortable. We don't have to put up with protesters anymore. But unfortunately, we don't get the interaction with each other, and we don't get to dance and sing together like we do at story time, real life story time. But we're going to get through this, and when it's all over, we'll all get back together and do story time, and I'll continue to go online so the out-of-staters and everybody can see us. My friend Joni owns the Paperback Book Exchange here in Newport Richey, and she was our first host of Drag Queen Story Hour. And bless her heart, she got out the other day, went to the bookstore, and picked me up some books to read. And one of the books that caught my attention is called Tony's Topsy-Turvy Telephone Day. There we go. Make sure y'all can see the cover. I read through this one last night, and it had me chuckling and laughing. And the Lord knows we could all use a good laugh right now. So I hope you enjoy this one. Check her out. Let me show you these pictures first. Look, that's Tony. Like any teenage girl, or like any of us, laid out somewhere on the telephone. Tony loved to throw parties. One day, she decided to have a dinner party, a potluck dinner party. She planned everything right down to the last detail. Then she called all of her friends to invite them and tell them what to bring for the party. The first person Tony called was Cousin Ruth. Ruth lived next to the airport. Tony asked her to bring punch and lemonade to the party. Apparently, Ruth made really good punch. Next, Tony called Frank. He was listening to his favorite radio station, and Tony asked Frank if he could bring bread and cheese. Then Tony called Vera. Vera was a professional dog walker. Tony asked her to bring a steak to kebab to the dinner party. When Tony called Otto, he was watching his favorite TV show. She asked Otto to please bring a strawberry pie. Tony then telephoned Kirk, who was babysitting. She asked him to bring hats and balloons to the party. Fiona lived next to the fire station, so Tony called her and asked her to bring salad and juice. Everything sounds so good, doesn't it? Everything's coming together. Tony was very busy before the arrival of her dinner guests. First, there was a job of picking out a very chic dress to wear. She was a very snazzy dresser. And then she needed a pair of shoes to match, because you can't have a good dress without good shoes. She had to decide on jewelry and perfume. Then she had to paint her toenails and style her hair. Sounds like Tony's getting ready for a drag show. I do the exact same thing. Tony was just about to start setting the table when the doorbell rang and her guests began to arrive. Hello, Ruth. Oh, no. I asked you to bring punch and lemonade, not a pooch and a maid. Frank, hello. Oh, no. I asked for bread and cheese, not a bride and your niece. Then Vera shows up. Hello, Vera. Oh, no. I asked for a steak to kebab, not a snake and a snob. Hello, Otto. Oh, no, Otto. I said to bring a strawberry pie, not a stranger and a spy. Kirk, hello. Kirk. Oh, no, Kirk. Hats and balloons, not cats and baboons. Hello, Fiona. Oh, no. Fiona, I asked for salad and juice, not a sailor and a moose. Instead of food, Tony's friends had all brought more guests to the party, and everyone was looking really hungry. All Tony had in the house was a can of tuna and 2 clementines. You don't know what those are, they're oranges. Certainly not enough to feed this crowd. What was Tony to do? While the guests got acquainted, Tony racked her brain. Suddenly, she had an idea. Pizza. Of course. Everybody likes pizza. When Tony called the pizza parlor, the party was so noisy that Tony had to shout her order. A super large pizza with extra cheese, please, she shouted. A little while later, hopefully 30 minutes or less, the doorbell rang. Soon the hungry crowd would be fed, Tony thought. Hello? Oh, no. Pizza with extra cheese was what I ordered, not pizza with eggs and bees. Can you see that? Look at that pizza. Who ever heard of eggs on a pizza? What was poor Tony to do now? Before Tony could say Clementine, the eggs hatched, and the birds and bees, who all turned out to be very friendly, joined the party. Tony sliced the pizza, and it was munched down by the happy crowd. The moon and stars kept Tony company when the last guest had left. The party had been a fabulous success. Everyone made new friends, and no one left hungry. Tony was very happy. As she was getting ready for bed, the telephone rang. It was one of her new friends inviting her to a dinner party. Oh, yes, I would love to come, Tony said. May I bring something? Hopefully the connection line will be clear and she'll get exactly what it is her friends wanted. And hopefully we'll all be able to have a party like Tony did again very soon. Very soon. Thank you, Tiffany. I hope you all enjoyed that one. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading for us. And so in addition to Stephanie reading us some fun stories, we also have an indie author from Central Florida, Arielle Haughee, joining us, and she's going to read some of her own work as well. I'm going to transfer the spotlight over to her and let her kind of take over from here. So, Arielle, I see that you're in the group now, so let me... And you're unmuted.
There we go.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. So we really appreciate you jumping in and reading some of your work. And I'll drop your bio on the side in case anybody wanted to learn more about you and maybe look up some of your books later after we're done here. So
Awesome. Awesome. Hi, everybody. I am in Orlando. My name is Arielle Haughee, and I am a children's author. I'm going to read probably my favorite book, my currently most popular book, and it has to do with the theme of love and sharing love, and how to get love is to give love to other people. So it's called Grumbler, and I love
you've frozen on my end. I don't know about everybody else's.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah.
Am I back? Yes. Okay. So let me know if I freeze. So I'm going to read Grumbler to you all and talk a little bit about love and loving everybody and sharing love with all kinds of people, even people who may be a little bit grumpy. Grumbler. Let me back up so we can see the pictures. The illustrator for this, her name is Marina Veselinovic, and she is actually from Serbia. So it's been fun getting to know someone in a country that I was unfamiliar with. And this book is dedicated to my two little boys, to Luke and Caleb, who hopefully will not come in the door. I locked it, but they know how to unlock it. Grumbler lives alone inside a drippy trash hill at the dump. He stinks of rotten eggs and dirty diapers, and that's the way he likes it. When the sun comes up, he wants to smack it down, sugar slurping star. He kicks a tuna can out of his way. Scraggle Cat picks up the can. I didn't have breakfast. She licks the goopy globs of tuna. Thank you, Grumbler. Scraggle Cat's eyes go soft, and a thump comes from her chest. I'm sorry. Yes, and a thump comes from her chest. Love flutters to Grumbler and lands on his arm. It's tingly, itchy, and terrible. He swats at Love. It flaps left and right, then settles on his shoulder. Crusty, cloud-licking cat, he grumbles. I really love how the illustrator drew the heart going into the middle of the book. The middle of the book is called the gutter, and so it's literally throwing the heart into the gutter in the street. He clomps into the forest. Two baby squirrels munch acorns in a tree. Love itches Grumbler's skin. He wants to get rid of it. Grumbler has an idea. Got something for you. The squirrels bounce down from the tree. Grumbler cups Love in his hand and sets it in their tiny paws. You're such a nice guy, Grumbler. The squirrels' eyes go soft and their chests thump. Love flutters onto Grumbler's leg. Another Love is on his ear. They're tingly, itchy, and terrible. Ridiculous rose romping rodents, he grumbles. He stomps away. The bunny family nibbles on some clover. Love prickles even more. Here, take these. Grumbler yanks Love off his ear and leg. He shoves them into furry bunny paws. You're the best, Grumbler. The bunny's eyes go soft and their chests thump. Love lands on his head. Love flies to his arm. Love flutters to his leg. Love perches on his belly. Love even rests on his foot. They're tingly, itchy, and terrible. Grumbler scratches all over. Cactus cuddling carrot crunchers, he grumbles. Now he really needs to get rid of all this Love. He tries the pond and it's crowded. Exactly what he needs. Grumbler storms around the shore. He pulls off each Love and thrusts them into any paw or wing he can see. Then he sprints out of the forest and back to the dump. He climbs into a slimy bathtub, closes the curtain, and waits. Grumbler peeks out. He smiles. All the Love is gone. Of course, this is the part where he thinks he wins, but we all know that it's not over yet. He heads back to his drippy trash hill. Something thuds onto his back, something tingly, something itchy. He turns around and a swarm of love buries him. Every time I give it away, it just keeps coming back, Grumbler groans. He lies in the dirt, his whole body tingling. The forest animals circle him, their eyes all soft. The love twitches more, warming his skin. No one has ever come to visit him in the dump before. All he's ever known is being alone. What if all this love isn't such a bad thing? The love snuggles against him, then sinks down inside. Grumbler's whole body glows from nose to toes. And it isn't terrible. His heart thumps together with all his new friends. Grumbler hops up and beams at the sun. Sensational star! Nothing good about that grass-gurgling ball of gas, a voice says from a cracked coffee pot. Grumbler picks up the scowling rat. He knows just what this little guy needs. The end. And so, of course, you know, when I wrote this, there was a lot of negativity going around, and I wanted to, you know, have a way to put some more love into the world. I think, you know, we all need more love, and I thought this would be a good message for little ones about sharing love and giving love, and what it means to give and receive, and when you give love to other people, you get love back. And so that's the message of this book. So thank you for letting me share it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this, and for everybody listening, thank you for taking time out of your morning to come and hear a few stories with us. And Stephanie, thank you as well for reading. It's always fun working with you, and you too, Arielle. I know we've worked on a number of things lately, so and it's I think one of the good things out of all of this is that we're able to invite our friends from all over the state and beyond the state to either come and hang out with us during these events or to read at these events. So that's the one bright point, I think, in being forced to virtually connect with people. And if you missed it earlier, we are going to be doing another children's family-friendly event May 9th as part of Children's Book Week. So if you don't already, follow Wordier Than Thou on Facebook. I tend to update the schedule there first as we move that programming forward. So thank you, everybody, and have a great day.